Hello and welcome. It's Kathleen here on the Pinkfresh Studio channel again, and I'm happy to be back with another YouTube live, another card making live for you. And you already saw me, or well, maybe some of you already saw me 2 times last week, so you've seen my face quite a bit. And today I have something fun planned for you. I will talk about that in a bit. Just want to check the chat real quick. I see that lots of you already joined, some familiar names. So hi Marcy, Mariette, Christine, Deborah, Margie, so many more. Thank you all for joining us. And behind the Pinkfresh Studio name, it's Jody. So Jody is going to help me out with questions. Yeah, thank you. I did get a haircut. They were getting really long and it's getting really hot outside, so it was about time. So yeah, thank you. So first of all, some housekeeping things as usual. I mean, if you've been here before, you will know all of these things, but I will mention them anyway, because some people might join for the first time or, just need a quick reminder. That in our lives, we are always doing giveaways. So we are giving away two $50 gift cards during the live to someone in the chat, or to two people in the chat. And then we are also giving away two more $50 gift cards on the replay. And all you have to do is, so for the live, you just be active in the chat. Every time you write something is another entry. And at the end of this live, Jody is going to randomly pick two winners and let us know if you give us a thumbs up. Let us know when you shared this video, which we of course always appreciate. And if you have any questions, please also feel free to leave them in the chat. And it would be really helpful if you could put the word question in all caps at the beginning, just so it's a little bit easier to see, when having a quick look at the chat. Thank you everyone for your nice comments about my hair. Matter of fact is I was actually really disappointed when I left the hairdressers on Friday. It did not look like this. So first thing I did when I went home was wash my hair and style it myself. And then it was okay. But, before that I was really, really unhappy. Okay, so for today, maybe some of you saw it. So those who follow us on Instagram might have seen that I put two polls in our Instagram stories asking you what product suite I should use for today and also what color scheme, because I thought, why not ask you and have you pick what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to flip my camera, get this out of the way, and I'm going to show you. So I gave you 4 different product suites to choose from. I picked these 4, and the majority voted for ribbons and balloons. So this is what we're gonna do today. And I also put, but I have to say, like, I would have loved to work with any of these. I mean, that's why I picked them to begin with. I was kind of going for, or hoping for this one, Never Give Up, but that's why I did a poll. I want to see what the majority wants. And I also, as I said, did a poll for the color scheme. And the color scheme that the majority voted for was this, which is a little bit similar to what I did last week, which I only realized after putting up the poll. So I will try to, definitely use this color scheme as sort of inspiration, but I also want to, hold on. I also want to kind of, use a little bit of different colors as well, just so it's not exactly the same as last time. Although, of course, the colors are cute. So, there we are. Okay. Yeah, can't go wrong with balloons. I agree. It's a fun set, and I've been meaning to use this set for forever, but you can see it's still, you know, in mint condition. I haven't used it before, but I was always wanting to, and it's actually my grandma's birthday today, and I'm gonna see her on Sunday, so I already have a card, or I will already have a card made for her. So, you know, that's great. So these are the colors that I picked for today. I'm not sure if I will use all of them, but at least that's sort of the selection I already did. Just want to see if, let me, hold on. Okay, so this is the colors that I picked for today. As I said, they are similar to last time, but also trying to give it a little bit of a different spin. Okay. I'm just checking if I already missed anything, but I think I'm good. So yeah, if I did, then please just ask again. And okay, so first of all, what I'm gonna do is, and oh, I also picked two dies that I thought I might use together with the stamp set. So I also picked the Nested Hexagons Blanket Stitch and the Daisy Chain Coverplate die. And actually, before I forget to mention, we until July 3rd, midnight Central Time, our weekly promo is still good for 25% off all Coverplate dies except new, which is only one Coverplate die that's excluded. But all the other ones are included, even this one, the Scallop Grid, which is probably one of my all-time favorite Coverplate dies from Pinkfresh Studio, and I believe there are only a handful of these left in stock. So if you had your eye on this one, I would, you know, snatch it up. And also the Elevated Rainbows is also part of this promo. Now, there is a coordinating stencil set for this die. This is not part of the promo, but I mean, you already get this a discount on this one, so I would go ahead and grab the coordinating stencil set as well. And then all of the other Coverplate dies as well. There are more. These are just the ones that I have. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I'm a huge fan of Coverplate dies. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stamp the balloon image on my A2 panel. And so this stamp set and stencil, so there is of course a coordinating layering stencil. Now, what you have to keep in mind when using this one, you can see that the balloons, so the balloon stamp itself is, you know, this part here up until the flowers. And then these sort of ribbons that are kind of hanging off, they are only part of the stencil. So keep that in mind when stamping on your paper, that you need to stamp a little bit, you know, up towards the top, so you have room for the like hanging ribbon pieces. Or you could also, so a little trick that I like to do when I'm not sure about the placement, is just grab one of the stencils. Just gonna show you, because that one is kind of foolproof. Take one of your stencils. Now I already cut my paper to A2 size, so I'm making sure that my registration marks are sort of in the corner of the MISTI. And then I put my stamp and put it on top of the stencil exactly where, you know, this stencil would go. And then I can pick up my stamp and just remove the stencil, and that way I have it perfectly placed. I agree, Coverplate dies always add like the perfect touch, the perfect texture. I also love using my Coverplate dies for dry embossing for texture. Now for stamping my image, I'm going to use Metropolis ink. I don't want black. I might go back, you know, after I did my ink blending, and I might re-stamp the image in black, but for now I'm just going to do Metropolis, and I'm already happy with how that's stamped, so I'm not going to do it again. But I will keep my stamp in my Misty just in case I want to re-stamp. Okay. So just gonna use some tape to keep my paper in place. And now for the stencils. So as I said, the stencils color in the balloons, the flowers, and then also add some ribbons. And if you're ever not sure what part of the stencil, you know, let's say you're seeing this stencil and you have no idea what this is, then just have a look at the back of your packaging and you can see sort of what part of the image this one would fill in. And usually, I don't want to say always, because you know there are probably going to be exceptions, but usually the same sort of stencil layer is kind of indicated by the same color. So let's say, for example, this one, you have the two pink balloons and this sort of the same pink in the ribbon here and here. And this is also exactly where this part of the stencil is. So just to give you sort of an idea. But again, I don't want to say always, because there are definitely going to be exceptions, but a lot of the times. Yes, it is hot here, especially today and tomorrow. I think today is probably going to be like the second hottest day in Germany this year, even though the year, you know, it's still only middle of the year. And tomorrow is supposed to be the hottest day in Germany, or at least where, you know, the part where I live. Yes, all of these products are available now. So these are a little bit older products, but I just was in the mood to have a look at some stamp sets and products that you might already have in your stash, so you could even sort of craft along, or if you're watching the replay, then you could grab all of these products or similar products, they don't have to be the same, and you know, craft along. So even if you don't have this exact product suite, what you could do is use the same colors with a product suite that you have, or use this product suite with a different color, you know, or just change out the products, the cover plate, you know. So that was kind of the idea behind this. Now I did use Marigold for my first balloon. And to be honest, I'm just going to go ahead and just do it like a really colorful, cheerful, bright card. I'm just going to mix the colors up, do some balloons, or do the balloons in different colors, do the flowers in different colors, just have a very cheerful card. Yeah, I don't have air conditioning either. I mean, I'm in Germany. We don't usually have air conditioning because, you know, it didn't used to get this hot. So as I said, you could definitely use all of the same color for the stencil layer. This is also how it's displayed on the packaging. I'm just going to mix it up. I'm just going to use whatever color sort of grabs my eye. So right now I'm just using, I didn't even ink this up. I'm just using the rest of what was on my pink a 1/2 inch blending brush. So it's a bit of sort of bubblegum and raspberry bliss. And I'm just going to mix the colors, as I said, just having fun. So you can see right now they don't look like much, or they look incomplete, but this is because, of course, you need more stencil layers to complete these ribbons. And I'm doing the stencil layers in order, so this was stencil number 1, now I'm doing stencil number 2. And I tried to line up my stencil as well as I could, but it's a little bit difficult if you can't really put your head like right above it, what I usually do, but then I would shove my head, you know, in between the camera and my card. So I hope I, you know, managed to sort of align it nicely. So let's see. The only thing that I'm trying to make sure is that, let's say I have the orange balloon here, or this sort of apricot colored balloon. I don't want to have the same sort of color on the flower that's next to it. So that's the only thing that I'm trying to kind of keep in mind. Here I'm just using the rest of what was on my orange blending brush. So especially if you're going for softer colors, this is a great way to do it. If you have blending brushes that you used with dark colors before, then just use the rest of what's on this. How hot is it in Germany? So today it was, I believe, 35 degrees where I am. 35 degrees Celsius, that is. I have no idea how much it is in Fahrenheit. Someone would have to tell me. Yeah. So I'm already really liking these colors. Now this is stencil 3. And I'm using the stamped outlines to line up my images. You can also use the registration marks, but most of the times I find it easiest to just use my stamped outlines. And for this one, I'm going to use Ocean Breeze. So as I said, the colors that I would have originally picked for the color scheme that I shared earlier would have been a little bit different, a little bit closer to what I had last week. But since I wanted to do something different as well and not use exactly the same colors, I tried to, you know, mix it up a little bit and going, for example, this one is not really a true light blue. It's more of a turquoisey light blue. Yeah. So let's see. Let's do this one, the ribbon down here, with this color as well. And then the flower I'm gonna do with Raspberry Bliss. As I said, I'm just like really mixing it up here. But I'm sticking to the same colors, so same ones I used before. And I'm not really doing any shading on the flowers or the smaller images because, you know, it's not that large space that you would be able to tell really. So 2 balloons left. Let's see. What color is that blue? So the only blue I use for now is the Ocean Breeze. Light, sort of turquoisey light blue it is. So as I said, since I can't put my head like right above it, I need a little bit longer. Normally it's much quicker to line up a stencil. So I also wanted to bring in the dark blue, and I'm doing that with Sapphire. So I just want to make sure that, hold on. That I mask these flowers up here. I don't want them to be dark blue. And also this one down here. I don't want that to be dark blue either. So I'm just going to put some tape above that. And this set, you know, it would look great with so many different color schemes. You could also do sort of a monochromatic one or kind of ombre, just sort of like going, let's say, from yellow to pinks, from top to bottom. I think that would look really pretty too. So there's lots of things you can do with this. You can go as like I'm doing, like really colorful, you know, whatever kind of whatever your preference is or the recipient's favorite colors. I thought I saw a question. Maybe I missed it. So if I did, then please just ask again. Okay. Now I'm just gonna wipe this off, and I'm gonna do pink up here, and I'm gonna do probably pink again. Like, it is a little bit more pink heavy, but that's okay. And so there's two more, almost done. And this is, like, you know, the biggest part, or the sort of longest part of this. It's not difficult, it just takes a little bit of time. Okay, and let's see, what do we want to do? I also have Grassy Knoll picked. I only wanted to use it for the leaves, but now I'm thinking if I want to do the balloon in Grassy Knoll as well and go like really colorful, or if I want to do, no, I don't want to go like, I don't want to go like rainbow. So I'm doing Peach Fuzz because I already have a lot of pink with the ribbons and, you know, most of the flowers being pink and one of the balloons. I don't want to add more pink. And I already have two blues. So I'm gonna do kind of a mix of yellow and orange, I think. So I'm gonna do Peach Fuzz with maybe just a hint of Marigold. And then for the leaves, I am going to do the Grassy Knoll, which is a really nice bright green. Green was not part of the color scheme, but I really want to have green leaves on this one. I don't want them to be, I usually don't mind having, you know, pink leaves or brown leaves or peachy leaves or whatever. But on this one, I do want to have green leaves. So I am doing Grassy Knoll, and I'm using my 1/4-inch blending brush just so I can get into the really small openings, because those leaves are fairly small. Okay. And one more stencil left to go. And this one is to add the final touches to one of these ribbons and also to have some highlights on the balloons. So let me just line it up. Now what I'm going to do for this one, for the highlights, I'm going to use some white glitter paste because I want to have it extra sparkly. So down here, let's see, I think I'm going to do yellow. I already did orange here, blue, so I'm going to do yellow here. There are also some more flower parts and some flower centers here. Hold on, need to re-ink. And then what is my favorite ink color? Phew. That's a tough one. I don't think I can pick just one, to be honest. I would say right now I'm really loving, of course, Raspberry Bliss. I'm just having a look at my sort of ink thingy, ink storage thing. Regal Kiss is definitely one of my favorites. It's such a nice deep purple. Haha, hint, hint, deep purple. Or like, not hint, but sort of. I'm old. I just revealed how old I am. But purple is also the favorite color, like my son's favorite color. So, which makes, you know, purple colors in general kind of extra special to me. So yeah, I would say Regal Kiss, one of my favorites, but also Soft Lilac. Yo, trying not to smudge. Okay, so here we go. So this is what it looks like right now. I am going to restamp this, maybe not with the black, but with Metropolis, but I have to wait until the glitter paste is dry, and then I will restamp. I'm glad some people get the deep purple reference. This is the Nouveau Glimmer paste in Moonstone, my favorite glitter paste, which, because it sort of dries kind of transparent, translucent, whatever, and it has these sort of iridescent glitter flakes in it. So it's definitely my favorite paste, and it's really easy to work with. But I need to clean my stencil real quick because you don't want to let paste dry because it will be a pain in the butt, in the bee, to clean. Now, where did I put my sort of... give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. When you apply the Nouveau paste, does it affect the dye inks underneath it? Not really. Like if you only apply it like with one kind of sweeping motion, it doesn't. But if you go sort of over it a few more times, then it does loosen some of the kind of ink, and it will color your glitter paste, which sometimes is a nice effect. You know, it can also be something that you actually want to have. Okay, so I got all of the, or like most of the glitter is gone, because as I said, if this dries, it's difficult to get your stencils clean again. Okay, now, where did I put my... Okay, I'm done with, I think I'm done with ink blending. I might do a little bit more ink blending in a second because, so let's see. I'm gonna let my panel dry for a moment before I double stamp because I don't want to risk ruining my stamped and ink blended piece. And I already did, where did I put it? Hold on, there. So I already die cut the daisy chain cover plate die, like an A2 panel. The only thing, hold on, not sure if it's working. Okay, so the only thing, you can see that it didn't cut all of the inner pieces. This is not a fault of the die. It's my die cutting machine. So I should have added another shim or, you know, something. But yeah, the die itself is fine. It's just, and I was too lazy to to poke them all out or to do it again. And besides, when I place my balloon piece on it, part of it will be covered. So I will have to see how much of it will be covered, and you might not even see those pieces that are not sort of die cut all the way through. Now, what else? So I also thought that maybe I could, because I mean, it die cuts all of these openings, so I thought I could put this on my card base and do some ink blending behind it to make these openings even more colorful and sort of prominent. And this one also looks really good just dry embossed. So it looks great, of course, die cut with all of these openings, but sometimes you might not want all of these openings. And then dry embossing is a really good choice. Or what's also really easy and a fun effect, if you just layer some glitter cardstock behind it. Super easy, just cut some glitter cardstock down. Quick, but adds a lot of sort of drama. It's Jody behind the Pinkfresh Studio name today. Okay. So what I thought I would do is ink blend the sort of like from yellow to orange to pink for my background. Yes, the Coverplate die is still available. So I think the only one that was these two were sort of low on stock or are. So if you want one, grab it. It's one of my favorites. But the daisy chain is definitely still in stock. Okay. Now, I'm just going to grab my full-size ink pad for this. You can definitely do this, and like with 1-inch blending brushes, you can also use ink cubes. I've done it. But I think I also said it last time that, I just don't want to get my fingers inky too much, because I know I will smudge my piece, like my stamped and ink blended piece, and I just don't want to have to redo it. And I also don't have the time. So I'm just using the exact same colors that I did before. So marigold, some apricot. So this is just hammer mill cardstock, and I should have re-inked my ink pads. So note to myself, re-ink the ink pads. And I'm really starting to sweat. Because also having this light on me is not helping with the heat. What should we use to keep our fingers from getting inky? So to be honest, I'm just gonna show you. So if I'm using my 1-inch blending brushes with an ink pad, I just really try to hold it like down here, and then I also push my bristles together a little bit, just so they don't, go over the edges too much, and kind of, so I don't touch my fingers. Not sure if I'm explaining it well, but I'm kind of pushing the bristles together and then just doing, smaller circling motions on the ink pad. Not sure if you can see it. But that way, it's, you can definitely use the ink cubes with these large brushes, and it works. And if you're careful and not, too impatient like I'm usually am, then it works just fine. Now keep in mind, this is just going to be the backdrop behind my my die cut piece, so I don't have to do like a perfect job of ink blending this. But yes, I'm also, someone mentioned you can use an inkstand. Yes, I don't have mine yet. They are, you know, still waiting for me, waiting to be shipped to me, but I will have some inkstands soon-ish. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. If this was my actual background, like that would be visible, I would do a little bit more of kind of going over the same, or like the spaces where the colors meet a little bit more to make sure that they blend a little bit smoother. But once I put this on top, you're not going to be able to tell. So, you know, I'm just not going to do it. Okay, hold on. So I'm not sure if you've seen what I'm using here for cleaning my mat and my stencils and whatnot. Just gonna leave this here. Okay. If I missed the question again, please just ask again. So I think, you know, this should be dry now because it's super hot. It was probably dry like after 2 seconds. So I am going to restamp this. I'm still debating whether to do it in detail black or in the gray, but I think I'm going to do detail black actually, because I also want to add a sentiment, and I want the sentiment in black. Do I smell lavender? Yes, you do, Jody. Why are you asking? Not sure if it's the lavender scented ultra clean stamp cleaner I'm using. Kind of makes me think of our travels, like with my husband to the south of Spain, Italy, Tuscany. Feeling vacation vibes right now. Just, you know, spritzing this. So I'm just making sure that I've pushed my panel all the way into the corner. And I'm going to restamp. In signature blush? Yes. Why are you asking? You're right. It's actually blush colored. Julie, I need to find that homemade cleaner recipe. No, you don't. Just wait just a little bit more, and then you can just get some fabulous lavender scented ultra clean stamp cleaner in signature blush. This is part of the sorry for teasing you all. This is going to be part of the August release. So I am sneak peeking this. All of the other products I'm showing you today are already available. This is the only thing I'm sneak peeking. It's going to be part of the August release, which is also going to be super fun. But yeah, so you only have to wait just a little bit longer, not much, until you can get your hands on this. And honestly, it smells like lavender. I love the smell of lavender. It makes me think of, as I said, of like it reminds me of vacation. It's and I told Kinnery, cleaning my stamps has never been so much fun and just a little bit addicting. And I mean, you can see I used detail black on this. Now watch. Like, it's just gone. It's gone. Like, I mean, my homemade cleaner was fine, but it never got rid of detail black ink like this. This is just, my stamp looks like new. So yeah, I told Kinnery, I'm like, I've never been so happy to clean my stamps before. August is really going to be a good month. stamp cleaner, lavender scented stamp cleaner, new scrapbook collections, August release with lots of fun products. It's gonna be a good month. Okay. Now, I am going to use the coordinating die to die cut my balloons out. And I also, oh right, I shouldn't have put my MISTI away. I was also going to stamp a sentiment. Let me just do that before I do the die cutting. Question, does it clean pigment inks from clear stamps? So our Detail Black is a hybrid ink, so it's pigment and dye ink, and that is like not a problem at all. I have to admit I haven't tried it with pure pigment ink. I will definitely do that, but I think it should be fine. I will have a look in a second if I have a pigment ink pad, you know, close by. Sorry. Okay, now just looking for a scrap piece of white cardstock for my sentiment, and I am going to use Have the Best Birthday because I really like this combination of scripty font and the like regular sort of sans serif font print. Thank you, Deborah. Yes, I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up. Of course, I mean, it's always nice to see when people enjoy our videos. So, always appreciate it. Sorry for the glare. Just gonna restamp this. And that looks good. No need to stamp again. Just gonna show you the magic again. So just one spritz and it's gone. Like honestly, it's completely gone. I'm still amazed by it. Because my stamps really do look like they're new, like they've never been used before. Sorry, I'm a little bit hot. Okay, now. Hold on, just have to make sure to line this die up nicely. And I mean, it's almost 10 p.m. where I am, and it's still really hot. So I'm not exaggerating. I don't need ice water, I need an iced coffee. Or like a nice cool cocktail. Wouldn't say no to that. Okay. So first of all this. Now before the live I already did just a little bit of die cutting. I already stacked up this same sentiment. I die cut it I think twice or 3 times from just some white cardstock and stacked it up just so I have some dimension and so I can adhere this to this. And now I'm gonna die cut the balloons. Someone just mentioned the August event. Like, I think Tiffany just asked who else signed up for the August event. I would love to know who of you is gonna join us. It's gonna be really fun. I'm absolutely loving the products. And if you were thinking about signing up, then don't wait too long. Like more than 75% of the spots for the event have already been claimed. So they've been filling up fast. I mean, we opened registration last Friday, so it's only been 5 days now, and we are already more than 75% of the places or spots are gone. So I would love to see, of course, as many as possible of you in the August event. And if you are still kind of debating whether or not, or if you want more information about it, you can also find the replay of the event kit unboxing that I did last week. So if you want to see what's included in the kit, you can have a look at that. If you want to keep it a surprise and just sign up without knowing or like seeing, then I mean, also a good choice. So I'm seeing that lots of you are saying they will be there, which makes me really happy. Okay. Whew. Now, I mean, doesn't this look really fun? I love how this turned out. And with all of these sort of hanging ribbons. Now, what else? So I also have one of these left from a different project where I didn't end up using it. This was made with the champagne glitter cardstock and the nested hexagons blanket stitch dies. So I used the second and third largest die to create this frame, and I thought I might use this and, you know, cut out part of this cover plate die piece, back it with this, and then also this, and then put it on a card base. Someone asked if they have to, like, how will you access the videos of the event? Do I need Facebook? You don't need Facebook to access the videos. The videos will all be on YouTube, like private YouTube live streams. And we will also send the links in, like, via email. But we do have a Facebook group, a closed, like a private Facebook group for event attendees, where we share, you know, the inspiration, the projects, where you can communicate with other attendees. What am I even looking for? Oh, right, this. And all of those things. So you don't have to join the Facebook group, but it's definitely a great way to stay up to date with everything and connect with all of the other students. But you can also join without having Facebook. So that's not a problem. And that reminds me, I wanted to mention, if you signed up for the event, please make sure that you are signed up to our newsletters as well. Because if you are not signed up, you will not receive updates that we send out in our newsletters regarding the event. So let's say when the kits are shipping or when the Facebook group opens, all of these things, you will not get these emails if you are not subscribed to our newsletters. Because we can't, like, we are not allowed to send emails to you unless you told us, like, unless you opted in. So I am going to cut the excess off. And I try to get my die cut frame as straight as possible on this so that the pattern behind it doesn't look wonky. And it might pain you seeing me cut into this die cut piece. But, you know, I can always cut a new one. Will there be more washi tape and stamped die stencil sets coming out? Yes, definitely, but I can't tell you when. Like, not that I don't want to, I just really can't, because I don't know. Is there a link to the supplies used today? I will update the video description, like right after the after this YouTube live is over. But to be honest, I just completely forgot to add the product list before going live. So I could either do this, but I think it's a bit too much with the balloons. So I'm just going to adhere or like add this behind it. Now I do want, let's see, what part of this do I want? I have 10 minutes left. So how can I tell if I'm signed up for the newsletters? If you're not getting newsletters, like if, let's say you should have gotten newsletters in the past week. We definitely send out newsletters in the past week. If you didn't get any, then you're probably not signed up. And if you just sign up again, like let's say you are signed up, but you enter the same email address again, then you won't get double the emails. It's just that it's, it's just gonna, like, it's not gonna do anything. If you weren't signed up before, then you are signed up. And if you were signed up before, nothing's gonna happen. You're still gonna get our emails, but you're not gonna get double the emails. So that's what I was trying to say. Sorry if I'm kind of rambling. I feel like the heat is kind of getting to my head. Okay. I think I am going to, of course, add some foam adhesive. And yes, you can sign up at the bottom of our website. So if you just go to pinkfreshstudio.com and scroll all the way down, you should see like a sign up form that you can fill in. So for example, we sent out an email today that I'm going live, but this one only goes out to people who sign up for like live reminders. But we sent out an email on Saturday, or no, even today we sent out an email updating you on the number of kits already sold. So if you didn't get that email today, then you are probably not signed up. And also check your spam folders, of course. The balloons were part of a class, right? I'm not sure because, I mean, I haven't been part of the card making world for too long. I believe we had a balloon sort of set, but it wasn't this one, if I'm not mistaken. So I am going for more of this pink orangey part here. And I'm just gonna cut off the excess, and I can use this for a different project, like to die cut some pieces or whatever. I mean, I could also just, I could have cut this to the correct size right away, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know that I was gonna do this. Let's put it like this. And I'm cutting, so if you can see, I am cutting kind of slightly underneath. I'm putting my scissors sort of diagonal. I'm not sure if you can see, because that way there won't be any excess peeking out. Okay, now where's my card base? There. Okay. So I have my card base, I have my sentiment. Where did I put my balloons? There. I think there was a question. Question, remind me again if I can use the hot foil plates as press plates. No. So you can use press plates for hot foiling and for the better press system and for dry embossing, but you can only use hot foil plates, so the golden ones, for hot foiling with a hot foil machine or for dry embossing with the correct sandwich, but not in a press plate or in a better press, sorry. So the press plates are dual or sort of triple purpose, but the hot foil plates are not. And that is also why, you know, we've been slowly making the switch to only press plates, because they give you so many more options for using them. So 5 minutes left. I'm sorry about my lighting. I know it's a little bit uneven and a little bit dark, but that's because just today we had to push back this live a little bit. So right now it's, you know, almost 10 p.m. my time instead of usually 7 to 8 p.m. So yeah. So dry embossing is okay. Yes, just make sure that you are using the correct sandwich for your machine, but then it is okay. Now I did this before going live. Hold on, where did I put the stamp set? Here. So part of the stamp set is also these sort of bundled strings that would hold the balloons. There isn't a die for this, but it's really easy to just fussy cut this, or just, you don't even need to cut it this, you know, this much. But I did stamp this with gray, and I used black for my balloons. So I will restamp this. I just don't want to do it now in the last 5 minutes or so, but I might add this, or maybe not, actually. I'm just gonna leave it. I think it looks fine without them anyway, because the background is already pretty busy. Now you could color your background as well. Maybe it would also look good on some dark blue, but I don't think I have any dark blue cardstock handy to try it out. So I'm just gonna go with my white card base. But, you know, you could try different colored cardstock versions. Yes, I agree. Without it, it looks better, just because it is already a little bit busy. I think on a card, hold on, where did I put it? If you just put it on a card like this, I think it looks good with them. But on this piece here, I think it looks a little bit too busy. So yes, I am using more foam adhesive because I love dimension. You can skip this and just adhere it directly to your kind of framed panel. Oh, forgot one. And this is what I meant. So these pieces here, they weren't die cut perfectly, but they are covered completely by the balloons. So, you know, there was no need to... Hold on, let me check. Ooh, I like this more. I like it more with the pink at the bottom. And you can kind of see these, but I'm not too worried about it. I think this is something that, you know, only the person that made the card will notice this. And I'm not sure if you have the same bad habit like I do when I give a handmade card, a handmade project. Like the first thing I do when I give it to someone, I'm like, yeah, well, it isn't perfect. You can see here that it didn't cut all the way through, and the person wouldn't even notice. But, you know, yeah, I think that's one of my bad habits when it comes to things like this. Now I am going to adhere this to my card base, but I am going to use this tape runner because I can pull off this panel, because I actually do want to try it out on a different colored card base to see if I end up using that one. So this is why I'm just going to use the tape runner for now. So I'm just using the Pinkfresh Studio liquid adhesive to adhere my sentiment. I was also thinking of using one of these, also from one of my favorite dies. I think this would look really cute as well with this sort of banner. Actually, hold on. I may have done just something. This looks nice. Kind of makes the sentiment stand out a little bit more. I mean, it's larger than the ribbon, but still, I think it looks nice. I'm gonna do it. And I'm just gonna put some foam adhesive behind here just to avoid that it sort of sags in these places, if that's the right word. I think that looks cute. And I'm always happy if I get to use up like a random die cut that I have left from something. Let me just grab the, hold on. So the banner that I used was from this die. It's the basic banners die, and they're also coordinating stamp sets for this one, and it's one of my favorite dies. Because as you can see, you can even use it with different stamps. So that was pretty much, you know, on point time-wise. You could add some sort of gems or jewels or whatever. I might do that, but I will need to hem and haw about that a little bit. So for now, I will keep it like this, and I will try it, like I will take it off, try it on a darker background or on a colored background, and you will just have to wait and see the finished card posted on our social media to find out what it ended up looking like. So what balloon set is that? So the set I used today is the Ribbons and Balloons product suite. So there's a stamp, die, and stencil set for this. I also use the Nested Hexagons blanket stitch and the daisy chain cover plate. But I will update the product or the video description with the full product list after this live is over. So this is my finished card, kind of like semi-finished. So I'm just checking. And now I already have a birthday card for my grandma for when I see her on Sunday. Whew, you can see that I'm, you know, a little bit hot. Let me just, hold on. Whew. Okay, so I see that Jody picked the winners. So Sheryl McKnight and Karen Thorne, congratulations, you are today's $50 gift card winners. All you have to do is just email customerservice@pinkfreshstudio.com to claim your prize and then have fun shopping. Again, you can also win 2 more gift cards on the replay. Just leave a comment below on the replay, and then all of the comments that are entered or like left until Monday midnight next week are entered in the giveaway. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's live. If you did, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. And if you ever have any sort of requests or ideas or things you would like to see in a YouTube live, then please let us know. We always, like, I can only speak for myself, but I always love to have some sort of pointers, or like if I can kind of cover something that you really want to see. So maybe it's a technique, a product suite, whatever. That would be really fun. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. And next week it's going to be, let me check. Next week it's going to be me again for a sneak peek live. So we are sneak peeking the July release next week. So stay tuned for that and have a great week. And if you were thinking about signing up for the event, don't wait too long. So take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the week, and bye.